Advice from a 61-year-old man. Now, you may have heard from others or from myself on one of my videos about the importance of grounding yourself in the present, of being in the moment. But how on earth do you actually do that, considering that for most of us, myself included for that matter, our minds are usually racing at 100 miles per hour with, all the stuff that confronts us and builds up over time. Now, I'm no expert on the human brain, and it's probably true that, we only use about 10% of our brain's capabilities. But there must be a limit to how much information we can actually process at one time. So if we spend most of our time thinking about the past and the future, which often actually makes us very anxious because especially anxiety is to do with mostly with future stuff, we probably leave little space for the present, the stuff that we're doing right now. Now, of course, it's really easy to say that we need to be more in the moment, but it's really hard to practice that in reality for most of us. But then again, no one said it was easy. So start by slowing down for one. Don't rush life. Stop to take it all in and make time to try create those awe moments, those wow moments that bring you back to the present. Because remember, life is not measured by time at the end of the day. It's measured by, those moments. So savor them, no matter how small they may appear. Because it's actually in those moments that you will free your mind and find that peaceful and trouble-free space. The good thing is you don't need to look for those moments because they are in our everyday lives. We just miss them as we rush by. But you do need to create that space for them to happen. And that can happen through the simplest things, like just going for a walk or a run or just sitting on a park bench or by a campfire, just, chatting with your friends or at a music event or at an art exhibition. Or just removing your headphones actually when you are doing your gym workout. There's plenty of good places to start. The other day, actually, I was, trying to practice one of my life's mottos, which is to do one thing every day or try and do one thing every day that scares me a little. And I went for a hike on the mountain with some of my friends. And we came to a point where we had to follow a trail that was less than a meter wide along a cliff face with quite a long vertical drop on the side, I have to say. Now, I got to admit, I was really scared. But I knew that there was no turning back and no point thinking about how I got myself into that situation, So that's the past, thinking about the past. But I also knew that the worst thing that I could do was worry about the crossing and the drop, so the future stuff. So what I decided was just to look down at my boots and concentrate on my next step only, not distracting myself by looking to my right, so the drop, or also, not looking up so as to not know how much longer I still had to climb. I really grounded myself 100% in the present, step by step, and felt surprisingly tranquil actually in my mind as I walked on. Now, I'm certainly not advocating these types of extremes, absolutely not necessary, nor do I recommend it for that matter, because it's in the simplest of activities that you can actually find mindfulness. I mentioned some of these already, but perhaps two other good examples of the simplest way is, for one, just be aware of your breathing, notice your breathing. That's a really good way to really be sort of mindful of the moment, of the present. And for another, the next time you take a shower or a bath, think about the sound of the running water and how actually the water feels against your skin. So the more of these moments you create for yourself, the more that you will find that you start getting rid of all the stuff in your mind that is out of your control and that you're constantly worrying about. I read a great quote that went, worrying doesn't take away tomorrow's troubles. It takes away today's peace. Now think about that for a moment, because we really got to stop worrying so much. It's not easy because, let's face it, we're all broken and damaged in some way. And sometimes we just want to escape our minds. But you need to train your mind to be stronger than your emotions. And one way to do this is to practice this mindfulness by grounding yourself in the present. It will also help you to respond to things rather than react to things, because that's one thing that we tend to do a lot of, is react versus respond. And it's also in those moments that you will realize that the endless chatter that's kind of going on in your mind before you practice that mindfulness has actually stopped. What I've also learned, by the way, that helps to stop always chasing the big things, because it will never become enough and you will always be worrying about how to get more. You know, life humbles you as you grow older, and we stop chasing the big things, the things we see as big wins, and we instead start valuing the little things, the simple little things like just alone time or long walks or quality time with loved ones. It's simplicity that we actually start chasing. And it's simplicity that helps create more of those present moments. Carpe diem.